Hello, and we are live. Welcome to the Peter Repeater, episode 21. This is the new podcast where I talk about things that I'm interested in, ideas, philosophy. Sometimes I talk about the news, and hopefully you can join me live. And before I start off, because there will be something to say, surely, I'm not just going to be sat here with no plans or anything. Surely. So before I start off, I'm just going to check that the whole thing is working. And I'll check the whole... and hopefully hearing my own voice out. Yeah, so we're just going to start off. We're going to share the video and... share the video, tweet it, and just check that it works. Let's delete the tweets beforehand so it's not confusing. Okay, and then here I am live. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Good. So everything's all good. So what I've done today, not a very productive day. I watched Joe Rogan in the morning talking to Brett Weinstein, and they talked about some interesting things about how the government are mismanaging the whole coronavirus and how some people were lying to us just to get what they need and not being completely honest, and how the leaders of the country aren't doing a very good job. So that's what they were talking about in the podcast that I watched this morning. Watched about 45 minutes. And then I do talk about my day in this podcast. And then I had a shower, emptied the dishwasher, and then I did a little podcast today of myself talking, and that was okay, more or less. And then I ate tea. I did some watching of some YouTube videos, interesting videos, talking about prepping. That's what my brother's into, and buying silver or gold and being prepared and everything like that. I'll just get my live chat open. Yeah, so there's that to consider. And I tried to upload a video today, this evening at 7 o'clock, and I'm doing that now, but the video got removed for some reason. Probably because my podcast is the name of a song, so they like to remove it, which is a little bit annoying. I don't know if that's going to be a long-term issue. Hopefully not, because I don't want to rename my podcast. But it shouldn't be. It should be fine. I can always. There's no rules, really. It's just when I have it going on for a long time, they tend to figure stuff out and remove it, which isn't a great idea. Just I started live streaming and then boom, video removed. Anyway, so here I am on a new link, and I'm talking to you. I tried watching myself, my earlier video today, on the screen in my room with my dad and my brother, and it was so boring. Unbelievably boring. Watching me trying to read the news out loud, and you can just tell I've no energy, just mumbling along, reading the news, and then that's it. So what I'm trying to go solo here, just trying to be fully immersed in the podcast space, and just make sure that I'm able to fully pay attention to the camera, look into the camera, and say the right things. And it's practice. Practice makes perfect, I think. So I'm going to try that, and I noticed that reading the news was a bit boring, so I'm going to try and focus on the camera and try to make it as interesting as possible. So I suppose I should really do some research for this podcast, think of something interesting to say, and then talk about that. But no, of course not. So yeah, Joe Rogan's interesting, and Brett Weinstein, just talking about how things are being handled incorrectly, like things such as saying that masks don't help you, when actually they do help you. They stop you from passing on the coronavirus, and they stop you from breathing it in. And the reason why some media outlets are saying they don't help you is to try and make sure that there's enough masks for everyone. So they say something that's a lie to try and get the thing that they want, when they could just be straight up and honest and will people to donate to the important workers. And just the total lack of preparation the country has, not having enough ventilators, not having enough hospital capacity, not having the plans in place to stop the spread of the disease. Like things like Donald Trump will say will be about, I've done such a good job closing all the borders, and America's like the epicenter of the disease. There's so many cases, hundreds of thousands, maybe 300,000, but over 100,000 in New York alone, and it's just crazy, just how many cases are in America. And apparently they stopped flights from China, and just it's incredible how things can spread, and things will only get worse. And then the news today about the government saying how they might impose tighter restrictions, not let you exercise. That wouldn't be good. I wonder if that's the case in other countries. I know that China, they weren't allowed to exercise. Then it says ongoing corona stuff. I tried to just read the news and stuff, but obviously that's not the way to go necessarily. But besides that, here I am podcasting away, and I realised that my name is the same as a song, so it gets removed from time to time, which isn't good. And also, I tried to set a schedule, 7 o'clock, just doesn't work. So maybe I just do it when I can. Maybe try and broadcast it 7 o'clock tonight, every night maybe. Or maybe I just do it when I can. Twice a day is good rule of thumb. You got 2. That's a rule of thumbs. If you pardon, yeah, never mind. So there's just a crazy amount of news, coronavirus, people mishandling it, spread across the world, and apparently China have got over the worst of it, and that could be true. I hope we do the same, get over the worst of it. And like they talk about numbers going up and down, it's just incredible that we're just making people's lives that are actually dying stats. It's just so disingenuous. So my life right now, I have spent a few days, an amount of time, living my life at home, and I think my number one goal is to stay healthy and well, and to be measured, calm, collective, just cool, just don't worry about stuff so much. And hopefully my aim is to just stay well, and hopefully I can do that. And I don't know what the future holds. So at the minute I'm signed up to do a college course in September, but I have no idea if that's 100% going to start in September. Schools have been cancelled, like exams have been cancelled. They might start going to school again, but it doesn't seem like the numbers have gone down at all. Numbers vary, they go up and down and stuff. But I just hope that people can get on with their lives. I don't want things to go bad. Preppers say prepare for the worst, hope for the best. I'm not prepared for the worst, but what my family have done, they've planted some food in the garden. I say like they, because I didn't really do it. But I bought the seeds, and so far there are carrots and parsnips and tomatoes. Nearly said tomatoes there. I am very influenced by all the Americans I listen to on the podcast. I love watching podcasts. Do you know, I tried to meditate every day and listen to some calm, relaxing music on an app called Calm. I tried to do that, but it's just incredibly hard. Oh no, it's not. I didn't mean that. I tried to do that, and it's good, but I just said words there. Yeah, so I tried to meditate, and it's good, but there's a big but coming along. Oh yeah, I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast last night, so I didn't get the time. So doing this podcast now means that I have less time to listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. So I'll probably do the podcast now. I might watch the Queen speak. That might be on the agenda of today. It is a possibility. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, it's funny how people care so much about what the Queen has to say. What about me? Imagine me on the news. Yeah, me on the TV just ranting about stuff and mumbling away and reading the news to myself. Anyway, so all things considered, live chat is working. It's all live. Everything's good, and I just hope that my audience will happen and people will watch. And just bear in mind, I just need to have a balance. Like I do want my quality of my podcast to be good, and I want things to go well and it to be interesting, but also I've got to think longevity. I've got to do it regular and for a long time. I've got to be often and longevity, regular and long, basically. So it's all right doing daily uploads, but you just need to keep at it, keep hacking away at it for months, and then I might get some people watching me. That's the hope. But till then, I'm just honing in. I don't know what word. Honing in on my skills of the podcast medium. And today I'm trying not to look at my tablet because I was looking down all the time, reading stuff, and I don't think that's quite interesting enough. I think, just me talking, it's a good way to be. And if people are interested by that, cool. Very happy with that. So that basically is, so podcast now, might watch the Queen speak, and I might, so podcast, Queen, Joe Rogan for an hour, meditate, sleep, and then it'll be the end of the day again. It always comes to the end of the day. My days just flash by. I suppose I'm only awake like 12 hours because I'm sleeping 12 hours, but they just go really fast. I just think, oh, it's bedtime again. How did that happen? It's just so much of the day it's like a routine. Currently I watch Joe Rogan, do podcasts, meditate. That's all I do. The whole day gone. I should be doing other stuff, really. Like I could be doing coding to prepare for the college, or I could be doing, editing my book to make sure that it makes sense, and when people read it, it's good to read. All these things I could be doing, but I just basically podcast, bed, do some meditation. My favourite time of the day is probably the meditation. I like that. Just focus on what's important and just let the sounds wash over me. And I'm not going to sleep. I'm just meditating. And I like it. Very nice. Started doing that over a week ago. So today is Sunday, and it's April, and months just go by. And yeah, just something I touched on earlier. I'm not today, but another day. It's just that feeling of you have to do something or the world will fall apart. You have to continue your qualification. You have to achieve something. You have to do your work for a certain amount of time to look good on your CV. Just things that you have to do, and it's like, what is that? Like, who's making me do these things? Like, what is the motivation underlying feeling like you have to do something that you don't really want to do? And I don't really know what that is. And I just have to remember, whatever happens, I'm gonna be fine. Really, like, as long as I got food, water, bed to sleep in. Just at the end of the day, things are going to be alright. I don't have to buy a house, pay off a mortgage. You know, these things aren't necessary. They're not fundamental to my survival. So when I look at my working life, I don't think I'd want to spend 40 years in a job that I don't like. I think I have to really enjoy what I do. And it'd be great talking about YouTube if I could do that as an occupation, because then I could live my relaxed life indoors, and I don't have to be like Joe Rogan, who's a mixed martial arts commentator, comedian and podcaster. I can just be a podcaster, and I could do that. And I'm doing it now, so you know, maybe I shouldn't be thinking, oh, I want to do it for a living. I'm doing it now, right here, right now, podcasting on my channel. So there is that to contend with. I don't know what that means. I say it a lot. So yeah, so this whole idea of like doing qualifications and making your CV look good, I've done a bit of that. I've made my CV okay. I've got a CV, you know. CV is, I don't know what it stands for, some sort of Latin phrase, but yeah, I've got my CV. Oh, I dropped my bouncy ball. Yeah, I got my CV and everything. Oh, there it is. I got my CV and everything's all sorted, and I can more or less have a chance of getting a job, is basically where I'm at. That's all you really need. You don't need anything else. You don't need a degree. You don't need all these other stuff. You just need to, you don't really need anything, but you think you need it. You like when you're doing a degree and you're absorbed by it. Not that I've done a degree, but when you're like doing your A levels and you're absorbed by it, you think it really matters. Like, I thought it really mattered, and it doesn't. Nobody gives a stuff what my CV says. Only I have my copy of my CV at the moment. Until I go searching for jobs, it's only me with that CV. Only I look at it. And then when I look at it, I think, well, it was okay. I've been a bit slow. I haven't utilised every year of my life. Otherwise, when I think of my age and compare myself to others, which I know I shouldn't, but I think, oh, well, I could have trained to be a teacher by now. Or no, I'm the age. My age right now is a teacher training age, or it's a master's age. When I talk about ages, it's like doing up to year 11, 2 years at sixth form, 3 years at university, and now I'm at that, my age-wise, school year-wise, I'm at that age where I could be teacher training or doing masters or in the world of work. And then it's this whole idea of like being behind. Like, who am I behind? I'm not behind anyone. I'm not in front of anyone. There's people older than me. There's people younger than me. There's people smarter than me. There's people in lucrative jobs. I might have the best position out of anyone, really. My life could be the best one there is, and I'm sat here thinking, oh, it's not good enough. It's crazy. I've compared myself a lot to other people, and I would say that's probably how I managed to get good grades at school. Maybe. But yeah. Was it worth it? Yeah, almost. I do like getting good grades, and I like my maths and my physics, That was good. Gave me something to do. That's all that it really is at the end of the day. Just having something to do in your life. Just being able to go about your day and do stuff. Just be really quite good. Having stuff to do. And I like this style of just chatting because I think it's way more interesting to watch. It's more interesting to do, and it's just less pressure. Just being able to chat and stuff. Because I think my first podcast, hour and a half chatting. That is the dream. The dream. If I could do hour and a half podcast, chatting away, people watch. Jobs are good and everything's fine, and it's so caught up in like the coronavirus, and I'm like reading all the numbers and everything, and it just seems crazy. Yeah, but till then, I've lost my bouncy ball. It's out of toe reach. Oh no, I can get it. I want to pick up this bouncy ball eventually. So, what is next steps in life? It is a little bit daunting thinking that I might have to return to work. That is a little bit, yes. I just think, yes, work, people do that. They earn money to pay for things. But just remember that my life is way more valuable than that. And just think I can do what I like, really. My life is valuable. But things I've stuck with and done, even though I didn't really like doing them, helped me in my journey. And I think at the time I realised that I just had to stick with it so I could get on to the next stage and progress and have something more to do. Yeah, it's all about having more to do. But yeah, life is way more valuable than just your paycheck. Because if you have zero money in the bank and you're live breathing and you're young, you're not necessarily poor because you've got so much potential. You'll probably earn £100,000 at least in your lifetime. You might earn £1 million in your lifetime, and you've got that time. That is the most valuable resource. I'd rather be me now than a trillionaire, who's 80. Time is so valuable, and the fact that I'm young is such a good thing, and the fact that I've grown up, I'm an adult now. Now I can just more or less live my life. This camera situation. I don't get it. I'm pointing straight at the camera, but I'm like not in the center of the screen. It's ridiculous. Let's get this out of the way. Right. So basically, I've got my soap here for when all the soap runs out. Got my little Robinson from Cambridge University. What I got for just visiting. I got a soap bar, conditioning shampoo, and foaming bath and shower gel. And it's my little soap container. So I've got some soap when things run out, things get scarce and everything. Wow. Now I'm like, you can see my throat and everything, and I'm just talking in my room, and that's all I do. And people might want to watch and stuff. So I think something interesting to say. One thing I'm not so happy about is that football stopped. I stopped being able to watch Liverpool. I really wanted to watch Liverpool, and I've stopped being able to. And I've got like a subscription to watch them for a year. A year. I suppose I did watch 20 games, so it's not too bad. But there's so much football I could be watching with my yearly subscription. I watch all the matches, and it's all going to run out. Now the question is, do I get silver? Because when money becomes a problem, everything will be about silver. And the idea will be to try and get silver. That will be the idea. And instead of having money, you get silver. You have silver arrive to your house, and then you hide it somewhere in your house, and you've got the silver, and you don't have the money. You can't buy stuff, but you've got something valuable. So when the economy crashes and there's inflation and everything, silver will be valuable. I'm basically sold at this point. I thought I won't get silver. Don't need silver. It's not a necessity. And then I just start researching it, start looking into it, and I think, oh, could get a kilogram of silver. Could get some coins and because silver's valuable and stuff. And all these things are possible. Gold is so valuable. Well, like a kilogram. How much is a kilogram? It's like £10,000. It's ridiculous. Gold is so expensive. Way more expensive than silver. And then silver is not cheap. What, like £400-500 for a kilogram of silver? It's more than a kilogram of water. There's not £400-500. Yeah, so I've definitely been influenced by the prepping channels and everything. I'm looking down at my screen. That's not so good. Lots of things are like that. Lots of things are not so good. So what's my favourite time of the day? Meditating. That's my favourite time of the day. By far. Second favourite time of the day is podcast. This right now. This here. This is it. The podcast is good. And third favourite time of the day, watching Joe Rogan. That I quite like doing that. I wouldn't do the podcast and eat into my Joe Rogan time if it wasn't for liking this. So that's my third favourite. I do things I like, and if I waste my time, it doesn't matter. Everyone's wasting their time. No one's being truly useful. I can still more or less live my life and make the most out of stuff. And the Queen is talking at 8 o'clock. My viewing figures are going to go plummet during the broadcast. There's no one watching me. No one watching me. Never mind. It's fine. I'm here. I'm a sentient, conscious being. I tried to talk to you, talk to my podcast, and yeah. What is that in the picture? I don't know. Oh right, it's actually. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right, so I should, in theory, do things I like, and I do things I like, and my mental well-being is pretty good, to be fair, all things considered. I'm not worried, not concerned in general, and I'm fairly content. Got my seeds. Oh, is it this? Is this in the way? We'll see if that moves it. Oh, it might have done actually. Anyway, I had a microphone thing away. Yeah, I got my seeds so I can grow food, and got the essentials. And one thing I'm not so keen on is running out of soap. Should probably look into soap and get soap, because I like my soap. Soap is important and everything. So this podcast, it's a good idea. I think it's good. It's got legs. It can work. I can make this work. It's really interesting, and I have to realise that me talking about random stuff, even if it's not important, even if it's not world news, it's just way more interesting than the possibilities of talking about random boring stuff like coronavirus and stuff. But so what are my thoughts on the world? Do I think bad things can happen? Maybe. Brett Weinstein was saying, how this might lead to war. The fact that everyone's struggling could lead to conflict and could lead to war over resources, and that would be bad if this led to a war. Might bring out the worst in people if there's a scarcity of basic food. Like, for starters, you can't buy rice anymore. Now we're just on potatoes. Just, it's already hitting us. The food supply, the wants, surplus, the bounty of the produce that was available to us. Now it's not there anymore. Now we're just eating potatoes every day. That's all we do. Yeah, so I want to, I don't know. Will I get silver? You can't go wrong by getting silver. It means that you have reserves and stuff. Can't go too far wrong getting a bit of silver. Getting gold is just ridiculous. And then you see those banks with just like reserves, gold reserves, billions of pounds in gold, just like gold bars, crazy amounts of gold. Like a gold bar would be like worth more than a house or something. Yeah. But we'll see. Will I get silver? Well, I don't know. I could get a little bit of silver, I suppose. Don't have to get all the silver. Could just get a little bit. But then more silver the better. If I had all my money in silver instead of the bank. Don't know. So basically the whole idea of silver is that if the economy crashed and there was inflation, you would still have something valuable. You'd still have coins, and you could still buy stuff. Yeah. So that could be a reason for getting silver. And there's silly things like you can get official currency, which is like £5, but it's worth £50 because it's pure silver. So that doesn't really make intuitive sense. But it's pure silver. It's official. It's good to have. It's just materials. So why is silver worth anything? I suppose you always need currency, but it's just like, is it actually useful for stuff? No, gold can be used in stuff, but having just a lump of materials, what does that actually mean? I don't know. We'll see. Excellent connection. I looked over. Anyway, so we're talking here. I'd try and keep going until the Queen comes. I probably shouldn't say that again, but until the Queen's broadcast, and so that's at 8 o'clock. It's currently 7 o'clock, and then tomorrow I've got some Twitter to do. By that I mean follow. There's a daily limit of like 400 people that you can follow. So I follow like 400 or just under. And then I follow 400 and then I get some followers. So the Twitter's quite a good idea. So life as we know it has come to a little bit of a standstill, and I quite like it. I quite like having no reason to go outside and being able to stay inside. I think it's quite nice, really, and but it's also not good that everyone is stopped and the economy is going to crash and things are going to get tricky. It does make life interesting, I'll give you that. Having news and yeah, I don't like the idea of going to a job and going to an office and having to work for many years at a time and just being stuck in a job paying off a mortgage. I just don't like that feeling of being stuck. I don't want to have that feeling ever again, and maybe I should prioritize my life, like that feeling of having so many more hours of work to do in a day and you don't want to do it. Like, I should probably never do that feeling ever again, and I should probably reorganize my life so that I make sure that I don't have that feeling and I feel free, and that sense of feeling free is so valuable. I really miss that. I was basically on tears, just not having that when I was working, just thinking, having that sense of feeling free, you really miss that. And I take it for granted now, but having that free feeling, just thinking, tomorrow I'm gonna like tomorrow. It's just so much better, infinitesimally better, that feeling of freedom. So I don't know how I can factor that into my life. How I can I can't really be unemployed my whole life. Like, it sort of forces us to work. So I basically need a job that I actually really like. I'd need that, or something that I really like. So I hope my college course in coding, I hope I really like that. That would be quite nice. But besides that, I really hope that that I do something that I really like in my life, or just find a way to live without having to worry about money and stuff. So say if I had some income revenue, because at the moment I'm living at home, so I suppose I could do more of that, or just live in a way that I don't need to pay rent. If that was my priority, you'd probably find a way of doing it, because everyone's priority seems to be, move out of house, move out of home, and rent somewhere and work the job, and it's what everyone does. But if my priority was to make sure I have that feeling of freedom, that the next day is going to be worth it, and I might find that feeling with a job, but I'd have to really like the job, and I think I would get that feeling of feeling stuck, whatever it is. But I might really like the job, might really be passionate about it, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm a bit stuck. I want to just get by and do things I like, and having a job could be interesting. But what I've done is put life on pause, and I've got life's on pause, and I've got 3 years of a degree to do. So that'll keep me busy, stop me from entering the real world in its own way. Although I think the degree requires you to have a job as well. But maybe this maybe this coronavirus will give a better situation than having to go to work, because no one's working, and say if it's the new norm just to do less and have more free time. That's how I like it, because I like to sleep 12 hours a day. It's what my body naturally likes to do. Yeah, can't really do that if you're working, because then you have like no free time, because you just sleep, work, eat, repeat. Anyway, so the Peter Repeater is brought to you by Peter Repeating. I appreciate the view. I think I'll leave it here more or less. I think I had one person come join me, so that was pretty cool. I'm gonna get ready for the Queen, and I'm gonna watch her, and I pretty like the like on this video. Cheers for that. Okay, thank you for watching. I think this went better, this podcast, and it was more interesting, and I wasn't reading the news and I was just talking. So yeah, so I hope I have that feeling of freedom for the rest of my life, that I like tomorrow. I want that to happen. And till another time, till tomorrow, I will be on here tomorrow. So check out my Twitter, the Pete Repeater, and I will get more followers, maybe get some more people on my channel. Okay, cheers for watching. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye for now. Bye.